What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome back to the final part of the walkthrough. Now, the only thing that's really left to do at this point is actually get the final ending, but we also need to kill the Red Reaper, and so that's going to be a probably sizable portion of this episode. So you want to go on over here. We're going to place Lane's Umbral Parasite. I'm going to actually let this all play out just because it is the hidden ending. I feel like people, some people are going to be curious. What does that ending look like? So even though we usually skip cutscenes, we will let some of these play. Now, right here, this is your last chance to talk to Molu. So if you are trying to get all of your remembrance stuff, to get trophies, this is the time to do it. When you're ready to go, you talk and then enter Mother's Law.
Child. Now ferry them home and act our mother's will. So long have I awaited your embrace.
And now we are here. So having filled the columns, we can now make our way across. Like, even if I had done my best, there's no way I would have figured this out on my first playthrough. Especially just finding Harkin's ass randomly at the Frost region. Into the void. And with that, we have achieved the Umbral ending for Lords of the Fallen. So, I don't know what's going on with this bug. Every time I beat the game, it keeps telling me that I've unlocked the Radiant Purifier, even though we've unlocked a different class. Just to show off the unlockables real fast, we're going to go do that, and then after that we will jump in and we'll try and tackle the Red Reaper. I have a spot that's pretty good to fight him that we're going to show. I also already have all the classes unlocked, so for anyone that's curious, we'll take a quick look at those. So the Dark Crusader class, very similar actually to the Hollowed Knight. Looking at the stat difference here, you can see the main thing being that we have less vitality with the Hollowed Knight, as well as less radiance. Near identical spread on those. Just have a little more radiance, a little more vitality. Obviously the gear is a little bit better as well. Going down, Radiant Purifier. This is the guy we get for the Radiant start. Actually a really powerful Radiant start here, because the Catalyst he has very good scaling, so that'll easily carry you until you get the Catalyst we were using. And you start with 18 Radiance. The Lord, which is my personal favorite, comes from the Inferno ending. Just looks super cool. It's actually the armor you're wearing, so it doesn't even matter what your guy looks like. You just have this badass armor. You also notice it starts with Ring of Bones already, which is dope. And then the one that we unlocked going for the hidden ending is the Putrid Child, which has a eyeball for a catalyst, the sword, and some decent spells to start. But backing out of there, let's jump back in, and there's one thing we really need to kill still to bring ourselves all the way home and get the final trophy. And that is the Red Reaper. So went ahead, farmed, and got completely leveled up now, so we're up to 135. This is kind of where this build would be done, I guess. You could keep leveling up your vitality, get that to about 60 if you wanted, but we got my Radiance to 75. Inferno is up at 20, so we can now use Elaine the Starved Sword. Also went ahead and farmed up the runes I needed, so we just went straight Oromon across the board on Pietas, and then over on Elaine's we did Oromon, Shone, and then Oromon. And both of these runes, they just give a large boost to the Radiant scaling while decreasing the Inferno scaling, which obviously there is no Inferno scaling on these weapons, despite this one requiring 20 of it. So what I would suggest doing is going all the way back to the very first vestige in the game. Now the reason for this being that even though the Red Reaper will scale wherever you're at, the world around you will not. So what's going to be nice about this is if we're doing this fight here, we have a pretty good chance of taking down the Reaper, mainly because we can focus on just fighting him right here. Any of the trash that farms will actually be super easy to kill. Now, we can't use our Sanguinarics in this fight at all, so just go ahead, use it now, get topped off, put on all those Briostone trios that we've been sitting on for a long-ass time, and now we just need to wait for it to spawn. And we're going to hit it with our big boom damage. Probably do that with some smite salts on top of it. Really build up that smite status, but looking pretty good here. 472, 399. Got a lot of holy damage going out. A little bit of wither worked into the package as well. Obviously all the smite is on Pietas, so you could also go for runes that are going to increase the smite application, but much better than having that funky hammer that we were going to swing around. And all we got to do now is just wait. Got to wait for him to show up. Realistically, I'm probably only going to do one attempt against this guy, just because it's a pretty tricky encounter since you can't heal at all. So, you know, the biggest thing is getting in good dodges to get your hits, being smart about keeping your health topped off with the Briostone, and then also managing all the stuff that is going to spawn into the arena and try to get you. And that's what I like about this area right here, is we're able to take that stuff out pretty easily. I can probably get some good hits with Pieta. If I can focus my laser, that would certainly work well. Oh god, I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. I just realized that with the seed there, I don't know why I planted the seed. With the seed there, if we get too close, it's gonna pause our progress. Don't plant the seed. I'll probably go up ahead, fight him away from the seed. Right here should be fine to take him on. So see, all the enemies that are spawning up are super low level. So even if it does spawn up a fairy or a gargoyle, they're going to die in one hit immediately. That way they're not interfering in the fight with us. The thing is, to actually, like, you need to properly kill him with a weapon if you want to get the eye off of him. That's one of the big things that we're missing to close this playthrough on out. So, actually, what do I have in my eye right now? We have Soulflay stun duration, regain Soulflay charge, and 25% damage to enemy soul, which unfortunately those aren't going to help at all since we can't Soulflay his ass at all. Some other things, while your Sanguinarics gets blocked, alternative sources of healing don't. So if you put on something like Queen Barana's Ring. That could potentially help you out here. That's going to gradually give you back health over time. It's not going to be a lot. You're obviously much better off just focusing on the Brio Stone for that. I really like this build because we can actually hold our own in melee, but we're still an absolute monster of a caster. Just gotta count down the time. While we're counting, let's talk about what comes next. So, with the walkthrough done, I am gonna wrap things up for a while here on Lords of the Fallen. I do have plans for doing a co-op playthrough, where I'll play through as a Inferno build or Agility build. Not sure which yet. Probably Inferno, since I haven't gotten a chance to play with all those spells. But I'm probably gonna hold off and do that sometime in like December or so. I want to let them really take some time, pump patches into the game, really polish it up, because while I had a ton of fun playing this, definitely it needs time to cook, you know? We need the patches to get this game where it should be, especially on console as well. Like, I had aside from the crashes, a pretty painless experience on PC, but I know that people playing on console certainly don't share the same sentiment. And, you know, all faults aside, it is a really fun Souls-like. I genuinely enjoy this. I like, you know, I mean, there's very few Souls-likes where I can have, you know, massive holy blades and then also be super powerful with the casting, and I think that's one of the things I like so much about this game, is even as a caster build, you're still very, very strong in melee, and even as a melee build, you still have very strong ranged options. It's something that really drew me into this game that we don't see in a lot of games of this genre. Usually it's like, you know, oh, you're a caster? That's your job. You're going to sit at range. You're not going to be able to attack anybody in melee. You're going to die if somebody gets on top of you. Or if you're melee, you know, the idea of taking stuff out from range is usually like a pipe dream, so something that really set this game apart for me. But in terms of what's next, so the next series we're going to be doing is most likely Blasphemous 2. I also have plans to tackle Last Faith. I don't know what the embargo is going to be for that, but assuming it's close to launch at like November 15th, I think we can probably wrap up Blasphemous 2 before that. But if I am allowed to show Last Faith earlier than that, if they give me like a week early embargo or something, we'll probably jump straight into that from this series, and then when that's done, we'll go on into Blasphemous, because there's nothing in particular that's on deck for the month of November or December that I'm like, oh yeah, I absolutely want to cover that. But you know, we have Game Awards coming up. We'll probably see some stuff that's pretty cool shown off at the Game Awards that I might want to cover. You know, maybe a shadow drop, maybe an announcement on something that's coming out. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna have some indie Metroidvanias on the docket. All right, and it is go time. With him killed in melee, we pick up the Umbral Eye of Marco the Axe, giving us access to the final Umbral Eye that we need. and just for fun, let's go to the castle real fast. I just want to see what kind of damage we're doing with our new dual lightsaber combo. Half of a ruiner's health in one combo. That's pretty impressive. So this would be a pretty fun build to do some co-op with, go around, mess stuff up. But either way, we are going to wrap things up here for the walkthrough. Faith build was a resounding success, definitely a lot of fun. But, you know, we did the whole prep with Umbral. I'd say that was just as OP as well. So either way, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you through the game. If it did, subscribe, come back for more. And otherwise, I'll catch y'all with our next series.